Thank you so much, Dave. Great to see you too. Great to see you, Elise, as well. Thank you very, very much for this opportunity. And thank you for everyone else as well for joining me for this fun caper, this final session of this symposium. It's the final session, isn't it? Um, I hope for many of you, you've been to at least a few sessions throughout the symposium. If you haven't, this is going to be a very short workshop because this workshop is all about capturing what you are reflecting about, like what have you taken from the symposium? What are you going to do with it all? So that's what this next 90 minutes is all about. Now, to help with that, we're going to use a Miro board. Now, I've just put the link to a Miro board into the chat. And yes, thanks, Linda. Bedtime in Sweden. I appreciate this. People here from all over the world in all kinds of time zones. I was just talking to someone before who I think it's half an hour after midnight her time. It's 10 a.m. my time. So wherever you're at, and whenever you are at, I hope you've got some brain cells there to devote to capturing and thinking about what you've taken out of this symposium. So the Miro board that I posted in there is where all the activity is going to be happening. So there's several times where I'll be prompting you to come into this Miro board. For now, can I please direct your attention to the panel that's kind of at the very top left, and it just says, what are we doing? This is the agenda. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do a really quick visual check-in. You'll notice there's a very visual flavor to what we're doing here in this 90 minutes, and there's good reasons for that. After we do a visual check-in together, we're going to do two different visual reflection activities. It's going to be a randomized paired breakout session. I'm warning you ahead of time. I know some of you probably feel like talking to a random person for 5 minutes like a hole in the head, but this is an experiment, and like all that we've been doing here in the symposium, please be open to it and be open to getting some creativity from it. And after that, we're going to be doing another kind of visual reflection. We're going to be browsing some amazing sketch notes that have been contributed throughout the conference, throughout the symposium. So we'll have some time to check those out. Then, everyone, will be doing a post-up to capture some insights and actions so that we can see what everyone else has taken out of it. So that's great, but I thought, look, that's pretty normal. Let's jazz it up a bit more. And the last thing we'll do is another creative reflection exercise. We're going to go into a time machine and see what we did in the future with all these insights and actions. Are you confused? That's okay. I'm confused too. It'll make sense when we get there. All right, so let us do a bit of a visual check-in with each other first. In the next panel down, so on the very...
Ben, would it be okay if you shared your screen just a little bit? Because then it will look awesome on the recording and it will help catch up the people who are...
Beg your pardon, that's a great idea. Let's do that. I can probably keep doing that.
Gracias. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Elise. Good catch. So here we are, just so you can orient where we're at. Here's the entire board. And there's lots and lots of pictures. Some people have conniptions when there's lots of pictures. That's okay. We'll break it down. And where we're at is the very left-hand side. And there's this panel, a visual check-in. So here's this little guy here. Let's do what he says. I'm going to set a timer, just a minute. Please do grab a sticky note with your name. You can create a sticky note and put your name on it, and then put that sticky note next to the face that matches your mood. Yeah, how are you feeling right now? Where you're at, when you're at, with everything you've been taking in from the conference. Where are you at? 1 minute and go. About half a minute to go. Don't overthink it. It's okay. Okay, friends, that was a minute. Hopefully you've had a chance to check in with yourself. Where am I at? And you're having a look at these crazy faces and you think, how on earth can I line up how I feel with these faces? And you put your name there. I noticed a couple of people have put their names in between, which is really cool. I like that as well. By the way, these faces are coming to you from the huge visual library of hand-drawn images that you can find on an app called Drawify, drawify.com. I'll mention that a bit later as well. So as we can see here, I think there's definitely some trends here. We've got some names around the kind of happy face, including mine. There's another kind of happy face with more open eyes. And I love the face with 3 eyes. It's got some great character there as well. Before we come off this activity, does anyone want to speak to why they chose the face they chose? Feel free to come off mute and tell us, or pop it in chat. For me, I chose the very top face. It was just a nice, simple, fresh face. It's first thing in the morning for me. If it was the end of the day or at night, I would probably choose a different face. So that's where I'm at. Yeah. Can I get a show of hands? Who's familiar with doing check-ins like this in workshops? There's some nods. Yeah, some hands. Yeah, that's right. Why do you think it's effective to do check-ins? Why do check-ins work well, do you think? Yeah, thanks, Lani. It helps people transition and feel present. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Lani. And yeah, it certainly breaks the ice, especially when you land in an online environment. You don't know who everyone is, and maybe you've been in back-to-backs and you barely know who you are yourself. And so it's nice to have that moment. It's almost like a circuit breaker. And as Dana said, it helps you get a sense of the group's energy and adjust accordingly. Isn't that interesting? Like, we can't help but norm to the group around us. And for me, the experience I've had both online and offline, when it comes to trying to get groups to be creative, to solve problems, there's a degree of effort that everyone needs to put in to do that norming, to do that status checking, like who else is in the room? Are they above me, below me? Where do I sit? All that sort of stuff. We've got to deal with that somehow, don't we? Before we can actually get into the meat of real creativity. Sometimes I find people kind of hop straight into creative exercises prematurely, and they have what I call performative creativity. It's that stuff where you just come out with the ideas that make you look good, or the ideas that everyone is kind of having top of mind anyway. That's performative creativity. And yeah, I think we need to sort of get past that. But the meat lies on the other side, doesn't it? And so all the reasons why we're saying here is great for trying to kind of get past that initial hump. Yeah, thanks everyone. All right, well, I hope you're centered. I hope you're kind of grounded. It's always nice to have that little bit of shared sense of energy. Now we're going to move on to the next activity, a bit of a game, bit of a mystery game for you. It's called visual reflection. And the first thing I'd like you to do is to have a look at all of these different drawings that you see in the panel here where it says visual reflection. There's all sorts of drawings here, like there's Lego, there's plants, there's a ship, there's kind of metaphors, there's lots of different things. What I'd like you to do is just to pick an image that resonates with you right now, make a copy of it and drag it over to the right side of that panel. And I say make a copy so that if someone else likes that image, they get to use it too. Rather than, like imagine if Dave said, yeah, I love this skull, and he drags that across and I go, oh, damn, I wanted to use that skull. So feel free to have a look, think about what image resonates with you. Again, you don't have to overthink it. Make a copy and then drag it over. All right, I can see some images being copied over. That's awesome. I'll give you a few more moments to have a look. Make your selection. What on earth are we going to do with these images? You're about to find out. Hi, Bruce. Thanks for coming in. No problem. I just put the link to the Miro board in the chat for you.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. Okay, I'm seeing some cursors still on the left side. So I'll wait until I see all the cursors over on the right side, because I don't want to leave anyone behind. I want to make sure that everyone has an image ready to go. And by the way, all of these images also come from Drawify.com. The thing that makes Drawify.com, I guess, unique as a visual storytelling resource online is that all of the images are hand-drawn, as opposed to just computer-generated or drawn and then all finished up in Illustrator or something like that. And the big reason for that is to try to kind of preserve that warmth and humanity in these drawings, and it helps us, I think, to sort of stay connected to an actual real live human being who drew it. Because often when we use stock photos or stock images or icons, we lose that connection, you know, and it just has a different flavor. And you can see even just in this set, there's a few different styles. And another quick plug, you can actually use Drawify right from within Miro using this Drawify Images app. Like all Miro apps, you can install it separately. So if you regularly use Miro and you want to check out Drawify, this is a really easy way to do it. You can add apps using this button at the top here where it says Explore Apps and Integrations. You search for Drawify, and then you can add the Drawify Images app. And I think there's roughly 1,000, I could be wrong, 1,000 free images available in here. If you can see my screen, it says Hero at the bottom, and that's because I'm logged in as a subscriber. So that's my subscription. So I have access to all of the images, but the free version, I think, has about 1,000 images to get you going. So that's something you might want to check out. Okay, well, hopefully that's given you time to select an image. I can see a fair few images on the right-hand side. Okay, without further ado, let us dive into this visual reflection exercise. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to jump you off into the ether. You're going to land into a random pair. And what you're going to do is you're going to say hi, and you're going to be nice, and you're going to introduce yourselves to your random partner. And and do that fairly quickly, because then you have 5 minutes to use that image that you've chosen to express this first prompt. And here's the first prompt. And the first prompt is, what's something during the symposium that gave you energy? What's something that has given you energy? I'm going to put this prompt in the chat as well, so you have that, and you'll also see it pop up as a prompt. Now, I have an able-bodied assistant. Stacey, you there?
It's me, and I have your able-bodied assistant has too many windows open. I swear to good Lord, I will find this for you.
Okay.
I've got your breakouts ready though, so that's
fantastic.
Good.
Thanks, Elise. So just to say again, you're about to hop into a random paired breakout. When you get into the breakout, you'll have 5 minutes. Say hi, introduce yourself, and then use the image that you chose to express what's something that has given you energy throughout this conference. Yeah. And there'll be a second prompt, but we'll talk about that later on.
There will?
There will.
Right now, or later?
Oh, no. Just
okay.
Later. No, it's just one prompt. Yeah. 5 minutes, one prompt. What's something that gave you energy? Yeah.
Should we let him go?
One more thing before we go. It's really, really important. Before you leave the 5 minutes, make sure you swap images. That's really important. You'll get a prompt to remind you, don't worry. But before the 5 minutes, so before you get kicked out, make sure you swap images with whoever your partner is. Okay, have fun. And we are back. It looks like everyone's finding their way through those internet corridors back into the main room. Thanks for coming back. Full disclosure, as an online facilitator, I always have this paranoia that when people go to breakout rooms, I'm scared that they won't come back and I'll be left with no one in a workshop. So thank you for coming back. All right, well, that was the first prompt. I hope that was interesting. I hope you were nice and civil to the mystery partner that you had. I hope it was even fun and insightful, because guess what? We're going to do it again. Now, as I mentioned, it was really important that you swapped images with someone. So you should kind of be in possession of a different image now. Is that correct? You can give me nods or anything for signs of life. Awesome. Great. Okay. Now we're going to do it again, but here's the second prompt. Because, everyone, there is no light without shade, as they say. So here's the second prompt. You're about to be sent into a different paired breakout. So you're going to meet someone else, and you're going to use that different image to express this second prompt. What's something that was hard or confusing or confronting for you throughout the symposium so far? So that's the second prompt. What's something that was hard, confronting, confusing, something like that? Have a think. And again, you're about to be unceremoniously kicked out into the ether for another discussion. Thanks, everyone. Have fun. Session. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Now, I hope that those two visual reflections was interesting, intriguing, maybe a little bit uncomfortable. What I'd like to do now is just to throw it open for discussion. So do please feel free to come off mute and let me know what you think, or you can put a response in chat. I'll have a look in chat. But I'm just interested to know, not so much on the content of what you talked about, so what you found confronting or what gave your energy, but what did you think of the activity itself, using an image as a way of getting you to express yourself with a prompt that you didn't know about? Any comments about that game we played?
I like that it quickly forces you into metaphorical thinking. Like instead of literally just describing something, you just build out the metaphor.
Thanks, David. Yeah.
Right. So it acts as a prompt along with the verbal prompt.
Yes. Yeah.
And it leads to a richness, a kind of creative richness, because if you were just giving an answer, the thinking about the image spurs elaboration.
Yeah, well put, Barrett. Thank you. Yeah. It spurs elaboration. One thing I like is you can't prepare an answer. You know what I mean? That's why I like using it. Any other thoughts? Did anyone find it hard?
I think the image for me just somewhat give me a lift, but also probably biased the way I perceived my answer to the question. The choice of the thing slotted me into a way of thinking. I realized if I had stepped back and looked at the palette of image prompts, that may have changed my answer to that question in some way.
Mm-hmm. True. What was it like having to use someone else's picture?
I actually went easy. It was easy for me. The prompt worked really well. It was okay. It just so happened that one, it magically matched what was going on in my brain already regarding that question. So it was fine.
Yes. I know what you mean. Sometimes we can have these moments of visual serendipity where things just seem to match. Sometimes it doesn't. And thanks, Barrett. Yeah, not hard for Tom and me as we both picked the same image. There we go. Interesting. Was it hard for anyone? Did anyone find that hard to do? Kate says, nope, that's good. Because I know that some people will say, oh, I'm very visual. And so I know a lot of people are really comfortable with using images, pictures, visuals as a way to express themselves. Not everyone is like that. So just to go on it for a moment, I think if you want to sort of do something like this with your groups, it's always nice to do it in a way first that there's no skin in the game for anyone. It's light. So it works really nicely as an icebreaker, a warm up. It works really nicely, I think, as Barrett said, like to get people to elaborate or to think about the prompt in a different way compared to perhaps what they might normally. And another great reason why I like this particular method is often at work, people rehearse what they're going to say in meetings and workshops. We can't help it, right? Like, as I mentioned at the beginning, sometimes there's sort of status leveling going on. Sometimes we're guarded. Sometimes an agenda is really locked down and scripted. And sometimes there's just no oxygen for creativity, like whether it's in person or online. And me personally, I'm always after ways to try to kind of unlock some more oxygen, like give people some open space. And often that happens with unpredictability. It's amazing for me how predictable meetings are. Elise, I think you and I have talked about this perhaps. For me, so many meetings and so much about our work that we do is just so boring because it's so predictable, because it's scripted down to the line. And in a way, sometimes us as facilitators, we're guilty of designing out any serendipity, designing out any unpredictability. So I love any opportunity to try to bring that back. And this is a very neat way to do that. Yeah. But hey, I'm waxing lyrical here. Does anyone else have any thoughts? I suppose, just going up a level now, thinking about how visual prompts can unlock better creativity.
Could you repeat that last question for us, Ben?
Yeah, sure. Just based on the experience of those visual reflection activities that we just did, any other thoughts about how using visuals can unlock more creativity in groups?
I like like that thing I said before about metaphorical thinking. I kind of like how it using visual images changes the way that we operate. Like it's almost like it changes the railroad, like the tracks in our brain, you know, our train's going down the word route and all of a sudden we're on pictures, and we think very different when we're in pictures mode for you know, metaphors. So I think it unlocks a little directions that we otherwise wouldn't have access to.
100, yeah. I'm interested in what you're saying, David, metaphorical thinking. Can you tell us a little bit more about maybe like why you say metaphorical thinking? Like what is it about metaphors?
I work a little bit with a modality called Lego Serious Play, and the whole thing is based on Ross is excited about that. Yeah, but anyway, basically the whole thing is set on the premise of it adjusts your thinking onto metaphorical thinking so that you can look at the big picture instead of like being caught up in the tiny little nuances, you know? Like the images, all of a sudden they allow you access to like the whole picture at once.
Yes.
You know, you see the forest instead of the tree, right? Go ahead, Ross.
Yes.
Yeah, we're on similar wavelengths. I was just going to bring up the Lego Serious Play, like but also the opportunity to draw something. Like it kind of prioritizes the written word of explanation, which kind of it could be one, I don't know, maybe the primary way we communicate, operate, but the drawing of something or building in Lego, and then you get to show and have this 3D object to show and tell and explain and put meaning into, just adds a lot of deeper explanations in a way that I think, you know, throughout this whole symposium, play and humor is often a big component when trying to unlock the creative, you know, idea making and meetings and just connecting with others. So the more you can get into those spaces, I think the more connections you can create. But
yes, interesting. And you're right, like it's definitely been a flavor throughout. Another thing too we're thinking about is it's nice giving people a bunch of visuals to play with, like just like that Lego, Ross, that you said. Is anyone familiar with Lego Serious Play? Does anyone heaps of you, yeah. There's a similar thing going on, isn't it? And it taps into more of the, I think, subconscious and the things that words can't express. And let's face it, for a lot of the problem solving we need to do at multiple levels, a lot of the systems thinking we need to do, a lot of the interpersonal tensions sometimes at work that we need to work out, words aren't enough. And words are sometimes too charged, or words have maybe too much meaning leached out of them because we use those words too often. And it's nice having a bunch of images like this, where as great as drawing is, and hey, you know, if you stand next to me for more than 5 minutes, you know that I love drawing. I'm drawing all the time, but for a lot of people, that's not a comfortable thing to do. So this is a great way to tap into that part of the brain and use those metaphorical connections without that effort of having to put pen to paper. Thanks, Ross, for including that link to Lego Serious Play. It's well worth checking out. All right, let's move on. As you can see, like this is super, super fun for me. I hope it is for you. But it's time to move on to the next part of what we're doing. Here's where, speaking of looking at existing visuals, what I'd like you to do is to move over to the left side of the Miro board, and you'll see that there's a gallery of sketch notes or graphic recordings. Now, there's tons here. But I really wanted to give you an opportunity just to marinate in these. We're going to spend 5 minutes. It's not long, but 5 minutes to have a look, have a read. Elise is going to put on some pleasant music, and I'll set a timer on the board for 5 minutes. And this is just an opportunity, as I said, to have a read of the sketch notes that are here. You might want to put some comments on them, and I will come back in 5 minutes. I'll leave you in silence and music. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your facilitator speaking. We've got about 2 minutes left to look at these sketch notes. So sit back and relax and continue reading the sketch notes. Okay. Well, welcome back. I hope that was a pleasant flight of fancy for you there for 5 minutes. First of all, big shout out to everyone who's contributed these sketch notes throughout the symposium. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Anna. And thank you, Renata and Jill. And I know that others like Axel have been doing sketch notes as well. So if you're tuning
Lauren's in here as well.
Say again, sorry, Doug.
Lauren is in the room as well. Lauren Green.
Of course, yes. Big thank you, Lauren. In fact,
and is it Bene or somebody like Benny? Is that right?
Bene?
Yeah.
Bene? Yeah. Benedict, his name is, but yeah, it goes by Bene. Really good to see these and the variety. And so I just wanted to say, if you like sketching, if you've been doing any sketch noting yourself throughout the conference, please do feel free to add your sketch notes to this gallery. Of course, just like all the other resources that we have throughout the symposium, this will be here for a year, and I think it's such a nice point of inspiration to come back. All right, my question to you, just a general question, really. Reading these, what are the sort of things that we're picking up here? What do you like? What's surprising to you? Kelvin says, how many sessions I missed? Yes. I don't mind an awkward silence. Anyone want to talk to what they like about what they're seeing here? Babette's Feast comes to mind. Yes, fantastic movie.
Hi, this is Wanda. I am so amazed at the sketch notes. Kate actually invited me, and I knew I was going to be at work and miss most of it, but she said, no, you'll still get something out of it. And so reading the sketch notes helps me to intentionally select those sessions that I want to go back and watch the replay, because the sketch notes are giving me more context around what the topic was. So thank you.
True. Any other thoughts, comments?
I've got, just from an organization of this and working with the sketchnoters who made these, some of the things that were interesting to me, we set up a sign-up form. We were in contact with some of the sketchnoters. We did have one open. Anna and I met through a Zoom open office hour. But other than that, we never had any verbal communication. And you'll notice the color themes. That was a last minute request that we shared our style guide and some of the hex codes and colors. From a hive-minded, situationally aware network, I think the outcomes here are amazingly coordinated from having such an async networked communication approach, which is, I suppose, meta for what you're trying to do, Ben. But
you're reading my mind, Dave, as always. But such a good point. Such a good point. Yeah.
Bruce mentions in the chat that the collective and aligned, I would love to hear you talk about that a little bit more, Bruce, if you're willing. And if you aren't, then just say, I'm tired, go away. But
I'm always willing. I don't know if I could wax eloquently with that. but it just seemed that everything was complementary to each other. That there was a lot of overlap. A lot of people talked about similar things in different ways. I didn't go to all of the sessions. I think I went to about 70% of them. And it's hard for me to interpret with the graphics what happened in the ones I didn't go into. But it did seem like everything was complementary and it fit. It's like a puzzle piece. Pieces, I should say.
I sometimes think about looking at other people's sketch notes in the same way, like they're puzzle pieces. A sketch note like this is often like a postcard of someone's holiday, being at a talk or whatever. So you can read the postcard and go, oh, that's nice. You know, but there's still that flavor of, oh, wish you were there kind of thing. I mean that in a good way. And it's really nice to sort of see someone else's synthesis of what they got out of a particular talk. And so I know that there's, as we've said, like there's a lot of kind of commonality that we see here, which is insightful in itself. And there's definitely, I think, a zeitgeist of themes that are coming through here. And this is something that, for any sort of strategists in the room, that's a lot that we can play with there as well. Before we move off this, I just want to kind of give you one more thought to ruminate on. Often I find when we try to get groups to be creative, to solve problems, to think divergently, we can't help but go for some regular methods and processes that great people have given us. For example, design thinking, or the UK Council Double Diamond, or even other things like liberating structures and things like that. Often I find there is a vital ingredient missing, and this is a bit of a soapbox. I'm going to editorialize. Too bad, but I hope this is going to be useful to you. Often we ask people to be creative just with what's top of mind. We're asking them to solve problems only with the equipment that they happen to have when they walked into the room or walked into the Zoom. And it's a bit like Babette's Feast. If you've seen that movie, there was a community that were just used to eating beer bread. That's all they cooked. That's all they ate. And it took someone else to come in and lay out an amazing array of other foods, other flavors to inspire them. And I really want to encourage you, in whatever efforts you're doing, especially online, make some room in your agenda, in the flow, to bring in some inspiration. Show people what good looks like. Give them space to be inspired, even if that means, hey, we're stopping the Zoom call now. We're going to go outside. We're going to do something different for half an hour. Take yourself off. Get inspired. Go and find things that light you up, because so often we're trying to be creative using the same familiar 3 blocks of Lego, like the same 3 colors, the same bunch of words. You know what I mean? So I really want to encourage you to do what you can to inspire people, broaden their palette. Yeah. Any comments on that before we move on?
I think it's a good note for the design competition. One of the questions we got is, can we use async techniques? One of my favorite things to do is also to take a team and say, go find 5 things that inspire you on this topic. Right? So if you do give people 10 minutes to do it, that's a kind of an async activity, but not really, So that, using those concepts and pulling them into the design experiment would be awesome.
Yes, definitely. Thanks, Celeste. Okay, half an hour to go, everyone. Look at that. Doesn't time fly when you're having fun? I'm having fun. I hope you are too. In this last half hour, we're going to there's 2 blocks. We're going to capture some insights and actions on sticky notes here in the board. That'll be 10 minutes or so, and then we're going to call on the talents of Lauren Green. We're going to have an open discussion with a creative question I'll give you. And as we discuss, Lauren is going to capture that discussion. And Lauren, I guess in saying this, I'm signaling, I'm giving you plenty of time to queue up what you want to queue up.
Don't worry about it. I got you. I'm dancing with you over here.
Awesome. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Lauren. I might need to stop sharing my screen so that we can see what you're drawing. Yeah, it'd be great if we can see what you're drawing. Okay, that's what's coming up. Could I please direct your attention to the Insights and Actions panel that's kind of toward the bottom of the Miro board. And I'm going to put just 5 minutes on the clock. Please go ahead and capture particular insights that you've picked up out of the symposium. It can be things you were talking about in that visual reflection before. It can be other things that you picked up from the sketch notes or in any other kind of territory, but capture insights and actions. So it's 5 minutes to capture either or, one idea per sticky. What insights have you picked up from the symposium that's been useful for you, and actions? What do you want to do out of this? What actions do you want to take? 5 minutes and go. All righty. Thanks, Elise. Okay, great variety of responses there that we can see on the board as far as insights and actions. I really like this one. The more attention we pay to each other, the more the tools take care of themselves. I really dig that. Yeah, absolutely. There's I don't know about you, and maybe it's the teams I've been associated with and worked with in both my freelance work and when I was working for software companies. Things are so tool driven. They're so software driven. And this has been a great reminder for me. And over in the actions, these all resonate with me. I need to go through my approximately 1 million tabs. Yes. And the awareness of different tech savviness, I think, I'm not sure if it's come through for you in other sessions during this symposium, but often we require a lot from people. There's a big hurdle before we can really sort of get value and get collective value. And a lot of that has to do with the tools and that we're asking people to use as we attend to one another as well. So that was a great reminder to me. Okay, please do sort of have a look at that as raw material for our last question, really, our last discussion. This is going to be an all-in discussion. So this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Big, deep breath in. Big, deep breath out. Like, here's where you get to really kind of come out with some gold, connect with one another, connect with everything you've been taking in, really kind of tap into the collective wisdom and the hearts that are in the Zoom right now as a sort of final hurrah of what we're doing here together. And to help with that, I've got a bit of a creative question, a reflection question for you. So we've been capturing what we've been taking out of this symposium, and we've got some insights. We've got some things that we want to do off the back of what we've experienced. Please now come with me into a time machine. So here we are, we're into a time machine. We're out of the time machine. It's about 3 months' time. So what's that? Very much. It's April, May, something like that. Ta-da, we're in the future. Look at that. The future is still rainy for me, but wherever you are, it's the future. It's about 3 or 4 months' time. And you're getting together with a friend or someone you work with, and you're talking about this symposium back in January. and you talk about all the great things that you heard and the things you wanted to do, and then your friend asks, and then what happened? So I really want us to talk now, like, let's use this perspective of being in the future. Backcast yourself, like, think back. What have you done over the last 3 months that's different to the time up until January 2023? As we do this, Lauren, I think, is going to capture. Her iPad decided to stop dancing. Mine does that all the time.
Terrible timing. So I will. I'll be up and running just as soon as it boots back up. But do not worry. I am capturing some typical typed notes on the side so that I can catch up. Please continue.
Okay. Thanks very much, Lauren. And a big thank you for doing this as well. I know what it's like trying to sort of do this on the fly, let alone have to deal with technical issues like this. Maybe in 3 months' time, this technical issue may be a thing of the past, who knows? But I'm really interested to know, and I'm also buying your time, filling the space and letting people think about that question. What have you done from now into May 2023 that's different to what you've always done as a result of this experiment, of this symposium?
How do you want answers, Ben?
Verbally is fine, or in the chat is fine. I know it's maybe a bit of a confronting question for some people, because I'm asking you to sort of commit to stuff that you haven't even thought about, let alone, done yet. But I wanted to try this as a thought experiment. There's actually, speaking of a thought experiment, a great tip I picked up from Dave Mastronardi actually is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, it's you hop into the future, and what is it that you really want to be doing? Where are you doing it? And who are you with? What is it you want to be doing? Where are you doing it? And who are you with? As a sort of futures thinking thought experiment, I love that. I use that. So this is similar, but I'm really interested to know, and Lauren's going to capture for us, what's different for you now in May 2023? What are you doing differently as a result of this symposium?
I'll share. So I signed up for this conference last week. I work in education. Every conference I've ever attended has been an education conference, which, like, you think they would have good pedagogy, but they don't. And this has been a really lovely experience. And this is the first conference I've attended where I'm like, I actually really would like to connect with these people. There's clearly a community here. Like, there's clearly a large group of people here who know each other. And I'm like, I want to be part of this community. Like, and I am a extroverted introvert. And like the idea of like reaching out to somebody to like network feels so awkward and terrible. But I'm like, I think I could do it with this group. So so thank you all. And it's been really lovely.
Wonderful. That's really good to know. Other thoughts?
I would like to think that I would be playing more and not feeling guilty about it. Right.
Playing more and not feeling guilty about it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Any specific examples come to mind? Like what that might look like?
Letting myself do artwork for the art's sake. Inviting people over to do fun things like cooking or whatever, just because it fills
Yes.
me up, it fills me up.
Yes. Yes. Everything is better when our tank is full, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thanks, Ross. Ross said,
Love
Barb,
the
I'll do
idea
fun arts with you.
that you would be generous with your play. And do play as a service to the community around you. It's a wonderful idea.
So I hope to, I would anticipate by then in the future that some of the networks have been extended, that I've been able to connect some people with other people that seem like they'd be good fits, and that some synergies would grow out of some of the serendipity that has occurred in this event. I have high hopes.
Nice one.
Yeah, Barry, I agree, capturing that synergy. I have a very pointed to do that is putting together scoping workshops on the future of work for listening to people, learning about and continuing conversations about what challenges are happening in this space, what we're most excited about, what we can contribute, and using that as a way to create more focused challenges that are created by the people in these networks and therefore then can be embarked upon by the people in the network to start to come up with ideas, solutions, reframings for what those challenges could be in creating the future of work.
I can add one. In designing these instruments that you've seen as part of the symposium, collecting experiences, we're trying to understand what's, elicit these experiences and these stories and that people are, going through. One of the things that I've been impacted by the kinds of humor, and I think it'll be interesting to draw humorous stories and elicit and put in humor into the story prompts. May not be interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely been a topic. I think it's resonated a lot over this symposium. Yeah. Just to call out a couple of things on the chat. Lani was saying she would wanted to have tested out some of the new concepts and refined to create some impactful experiences for my colleagues and clients. So isn't it great, like, that we've got such rich material here that we can apply straight away as experiments, just continuing that spirit of play. And it's nice if we can try things and they don't have to work the first time. Chris says, I've been explicit about intention in everything I do, everywhere I go. It's with intention. Love that. I have a purpose for the actions I take. I really think about why I'm doing what I'm doing instead of old habits or autopilot mode. I love that. If I can, I'd say yes and. Always challenging the things that we think that we have to do just because we've always done them, or that everyone around us does them. Yes, and thank you, Heather. Heather says, by May, I'm firmly on my virtual bridge, meaning where I'm pulling together my skill sets, I'm working with others who need help crossing that bridge. Visuals, appreciative inquiry, tech hosting, so that we may thrive in the important work we are doing. For me, that highlights often, I think, we can generalize the role of facilitation too much. We can generalize the role of creativity too much. Sometimes the impact you make is just to build that bridge, or the impact that you need to do is just to provide that bit of inspiration, or that difference that you need to make in the moment is maybe just to get out of the way. So really trying to sort of see where you insert or remove yourself for the sake of others and their creativity, I think is interesting as well. Other thoughts?
Tom, did you want to say yours?
Sure. I see myself being more courageous and lighter in my encouragement of people to share their humor, their play, their creativity. Thanks.
Isn't it fun to know that we can be measurably positive? Like we could all be the green dots that make things around us happen.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with Ross. I want to be an Energizer bunny.
Even more so, Barrett.
And if I may, like you want to be an Energizer bunny. So what are your batteries? Like what's going to energize you so that you can be energy for others?
Boys, that's a lovely question, and you don't have time for the answer. But actually, these conversations, the kind of input coming in, my desk is filled with little Post-it notes of various things and ideas I want to follow up on, and connections I want to make, and people I want to connect with other people. So that fills up my batteries. But also the other thing that fills up my batteries, quite frankly, is when I'm out walking in the snow, chopping up. I like when I finish here, I got to go fill up my wood boiler, move all the wood, split the wood, put up the stuff. All that does it too. So
yes. Yeah, there's definitely something to be said about working in the physicality, like some physical exertion. As part of thinking. I know Dave and I have talked off and on about the value of running, just that head clearing, connection making nature that running can do. I think we've all got something like that, something physical that helps us to create a circuit breaker where we need it. If we're in, an unhelpful pattern, or we're kind of stuck creatively or otherwise. It's always nice to think about those physical things and what are the physical things that others in a group need to get them unstuck as well. Driving my 1968 road grader to plow the snow from my access road. Yes. Yeah. What is it about shoveling snow? I was visiting family for Christmas in Canada, and they had two big dumps of snow in Vancouver, and I was out there with my brother shoveling snow, and it was just really therapeutic. I loved it. Like, it was physical, it was so satisfying. And me being a designer, I had to make sure that the margin of like snow and then no snow for the driveway, like it had to be like a really clean line. Like, that was really satisfying to do with the plow. I'm going to stop talking now. I'm a nerd, but you get the idea. Yeah. Any other thoughts as we wrap up here? What else have we done? What's changed?
I know David and I have some things that we hope have changed within 5 months, and we'll be talking about those momentarily. So if you're in a deeply loving, wonderful spot and you don't want practicalities to burst your heart bubble, you might want to leave, because we're going to get super action itemy. Heads up.
What a great heads up. That's the best heads up I've ever heard. All right then. Well, I think on that, again, massive shout out to Lauren here. It's a really beautiful capture that you've done here. Thanks so much, Lauren. And me personally, like being a bit of a sketchnoter myself, I love a restrained color palette. I love that kind of trail, that sort of colored and dotted trail around. Lauren, if it's okay, at some point soon, can you please add an export of that to the gallery as well?
It'll be up tonight.
Oh, wonderful. Love your work. Thanks so much. So look, obviously, I hope you're taking a lot from this symposium. It clearly looks like we are. I hope you're taking something from this particular final session, this capture session. I hope it's giving you, a few more little ideas you might want to work into how you run sessions. Like we've looked at a few things, the value of serendipity and designing in serendipity and a little bit of disruption. We've looked at how using visuals in different ways can help people make different connections, express things in better ways, more creative ways. And we've looked at how it can be nice to leave some room for inspiration before we roll up the sleeves and solve problems. Over to you, Elise.